Welcome back. Joining me now is the Conservative Life peer and author of Return to Growth, How to Fix the Economy, Lord Moynihan. Or as I like to call you, John, if you can dispense with titles.
Good morning, Camilla.
Is it all going to end in tears? Pardon the pun.
Well, the tears are beginning to well in the eye as we speak, Camilla. I mean, where do you want me to start? Because I won't be able to finish.
I know.
Yes.
Let's not depress everyone too much, because the sun may be shining later, and it is a Sunday, but Mansion House, first of all. I mean, some righties quite like the cut of the Chancellor's jib.
Right.
She was saying good things about deregulation and the city and things.
We as Britons are incredibly forgiving and open to belief, but what we often fail to do, and these individuals are failing to do, is distinguish between what they say, what they do, and what the outcome is.
Yes.
What she said was pretty awful, but had some good things about deregulation in. She said regulation is a boot on the neck of business. A great line. I thought it was great.
Yes.
I quoted her twice in the House of Lords last week when discussing two different regulators that are being introduced to the unsuspecting British public. The football regulator, which is going to be a very bad thing, but people don't realise that yet. And the Fair Work Agency, which is going to be a horrendous thing, which is part of the really appalling Employment Rights Act, which is going to impose all sorts of new regulations on people. So there's what she says and what she does.
Yes.
What she said was about financial services, but at the same time, the FCA, which is our regulator there, just extended some totally ludicrous regulations to 37,000 extra companies. This week.
There's shades of, we're going to get rid of quangos, but actually we've set up another 27.
Well, that was 6 months ago, it was 27.
No, but she says one thing, and then in the background, all of the stuff is happening which does precisely the opposite.
Exactly.
The other thing that happened, John, is the morning afterwards, inflation hit the highest level in 18 months.
Yes.
Where's inflation going in your mind? Further up?
The pressure will be upward. Because interestingly, if you do release regulations on bank lending, which is one of the things she announced, banks will lend more, the money supply will go up, the inflationary pressure is higher.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the Bank of England is lovely. You go onto their website and they say, well, we use interest rates, short-term interest rates, to change long-term interest rates, which is a final admission by them that they can't really control long-term interest rates. They can only do short-term ones, and that there is an impact, which they've never admitted before. Now, unfortunately, they are lowering short-term interest rates, which will raise long-term interest rates. And long-term interest rates are now far higher than under Liz Truss, who allegedly crashed the economy.
Yes.
So what has
Well,
Rachel
our
Reeves
gilt yield's
done?
up as well beyond these parameters. The BBC
Yes.
hasn't mentioned it at all because, of course, it's not associated with a Tory.
Precisely. But so therefore, if you lower short-term interest rate, it increases inflationary pressures. If you reduce regulation on lending, it increases inflationary pressures. So therefore, the trend in inflation will be to go up, and it's already over a point higher than their target.
Also, by the way, nobody feels that inflation has come down to this level in their shopping basket.
Very true.
None of these prices have come down.
No.
I do the bag of Haribo test. I'm sure you're familiar with Haribo, John.
Absolutely.
It was a quid. It's now £1.25.
Yes.
It's not gone back down to a quid.
And I bet you it's smaller.
The packet's probably got fewer sweets in it. I say this as a mother of three, everybody. I'm not eating these Haribo all myself. Therefore, inflation in the supermarket is actually 25%, not 2 or 3.
Correct.
Do you know the Norwegian-born shipping baron John Fredrickson?
I do. He lived round the corner from me.
Have you ever been to his 300-year-old old rectory in Chelsea, John?
I received a couple of invitations to fundraisers there, but I never went.
Shame.
But I peer over the wall when I walk past.
Well, it's quite the pad. It's worth 250 million quid.
He's asking for that.
Well,
I don't think he'll get it.
Fredrickson is quitting London, so we hear this rumour of a millionaire leaving every 45 minutes, which I'm inclined to believe, actually. Well, guess what he's saying? This is the declaration from this billionaire. Britain has gone to hell.
I spoke to my accountants yesterday on some trivial thing, and he started talking about all the wealthy families he had in his company, which is one that specialises in wealthy families. He had 400 wealthy families a year ago that they would do the accounts for. 75 of them in the last year have left. Now, everybody, the left-wing warriors say, oh, the hell to them. If they want to leave, then so what? Well, mate, your benefits are not going to be paid, or there won't be the money to pay your benefits anymore. And what's more, it's not just billionaires and millionaires. It's young high strivers. It's people in their 20s who are saying, I'm fed up with this. I'm fed up with this life here where there's no future prospects. I'm going off to Dubai or America or Australia.
Australia was being discussed with some of my fellow staff members out in the green room. What do we think about where the economy is headed in general, John, just finally, because obviously you're a growth expert?
Yes.
Now, we had that squeeze last month down to 0.1%. By the way, Rachel Reeves reacted to that under Truss and said, we should have an emergency budget because the economy had contracted by 0.1%. She's not saying that now, strangely. This growth is not happening, is it?
They're in a trap. Back to what I say, what I do, what the outcome is. What we know is you have to reduce the size of government, reduce the level of taxes, and reduce the amount of regulation. And they're sort of saying that. Apart from tax, they're saying, we'll increase tax, whatever happens, because you ought to pay more tax. Aren't you a decent person? Shouldn't you pay more tax? But apart from that, they say they'll bring those down. But the reality is, size of government is going up. Thousands of civil servants every week, more. Thousands of them.
Yes, I know.
And also, regulators, everything, just the size of government going, and of course, benefits going up and up and up.
Government spending is going up.
Government spending going up and up and up. It's heading towards half of the entire economy. It's going to be a catastrophe. Tax going up and up and up. But that's only tax rates. And I've been saying forever, you can increase tax rates all you like, but your tax receipts will go down.
Yes.
And they are going down.
Well, she's not going to unfreeze the tax bands, by the way.
Well, yeah, but all of that is in order to get more tax receipts. They won't get more tax receipts, and I've been saying this for years.
The Laffer curve. It's basic economics, John.
Precisely. And what happens is that rather than pay those taxes, people are leaving, or people are shutting down their business, or people are just not bothering to work. And regulation is just going up and up and up, and regulation is the worst of all. OK, so no growth forecast by John Moynihan at this stage? Yes, growth in a negative direction. Recession? Almost certainly by the end of the year. All right, we need to wrap there. John Moynihan, thank you very much indeed.